This is your boy D back with another video on You Can Be Free. I want to shout out to one of my subscribers that commented on an old post that I did I think like 2 years ago. And he was telling me how he missed, videos where it was just me speaking. Because for the past year and a half, I've been interviewing a lot of people, but just want to let y'all know that I will mix it up. I'm gonna do videos, some just me, and then other testimonies. But today we're gonna be talking about the power of agreement. I've talked about this in different videos, but I'm really just gonna break this down because this is something that God has really been teaching me about how uh how strong the power of agreement can work into our life, whether if it be for the kingdom of heaven or for the kingdom of darkness. Now, there's a friend that I have who was at one point was a warlock, and he was telling me that when he had came out of his witch coven, that there was two people had went to his wedding. They tried to put a curse on the wedding. And I think at one point in time, he may have had like some type of health issues with his stomach. And so a lady had went to him and she was asking him about his stomach. And I think she was offering like a solution to it, like some Pepto or something like that. But she was like, how is, your stomach? Are you okay? And he said, yeah, I'm good. I'm healed. And there was another person that was with her that came to him and he tried to do the same thing, saying, stuff about his health, looking for an agreement with his words because they knew the only way that they could get witchcraft to work into his life at this point was to get an agreement. And when I think, back to other things that God has shown me that I've talked about on this channel, that we really have to watch out what we coming into an agreement with because sometimes people talk about generational curses, being active into a person's life. And I do believe in generational cycles, but the only way that that curse is going to have power is if you give that curse power. If there's, addiction running into your family and you come into an agreement with that addiction by drinking or even, smoking weed, a person that has never smoked weed doesn't have a desire for marijuana because they never gave it power. A person that has never drank before has never don't have the desire to it because they never gave it power. A person who's never watched porn doesn't have the desire to, and it only activates, the curses activate when we give it power. Even when it comes to like health things like high blood pressure and cancer and diseases like that, those things come into our life when we give it power by the food that we eat. Now, coming into an agreement with certain things is different. Now, when you actually do the action of something, whether it be coming into an agreement with addiction by actually doing that, then that's the highest level of agreement because now you have actually committed the thing. If you're dealing with, lust and you go out and, hook up with somebody that you don't know, or, anything that is pertaining to that, that is the highest level of agreement because you actually done that. If you're dealing with homicidal thoughts or suicidal thoughts and you actually go and do that, that's your agreement with that. And the thing about when it comes to deliverance, spirits don't have to leave your life if you are into an agreement with it. Now, there's other ways we can come into an agreement with stuff, and we're giving spirits access to our lives by our thought life. If you're constantly meditating on something, then you're coming into an agreement with it because you're not casting those thoughts down. The thing about strongholds in a person's life or in a person's mind, a person don't wake up depressed. It's because when you see a person who is depressed, it's because over time they have come into an agreement with it. Now, you can feel depressed for a moment, but I'm talking about when you get to the point in your life where you are dealing with severe depression, severe anxiety, is because over time you have developed a mindset that has become a stronghold in your life. If I get off this video and I start thinking about all the depressing things that I've been through, about how, certain things that I'm not happy about, then I'm coming into an agreement with depression. Or depressing thoughts. But if I do that every single day for a month or a couple of months, now I have something in my life that I'm battling with because I've done and agreed with that. Same things with the things that we come into an agreement with our eyes, that we choose to keep watching. The Bible talks about in Matthew chapter 6 that the eye is the window of the soul. And if your eye is bad, then the whole body is bad, because you done came into an agreement with something in your eyes. And the thing is, we see things through social media. We see things at the gym. We see things like every day, but it's different when you keep looking back at it. It's different when you purposely watch a movie and you know it has certain things in it. You done came into an agreement with it. You can come into an agreement with certain things that you hear, and you're just allowing people to, when you're talking on the phone to people, and at first, before you was talking on the phone to this person, you were feeling good. And now you've done coming into an agreement with something that said you may have been feeling like, it's time for you to start a business. And then you have faith about it. And then now you talk to someone, they tell you that it's not going to work, that it didn't work out for them, that you don't need to do this. And you come into an agreement with them. So now that you got off that phone call, now you're feeling doubtful about something that you did have hope in. We coming into an agreement with certain spirits by the type of music that we listen to. I used to love gangster music. I knew that it would hype me up before I'm getting ready to argue with somebody, fight somebody, or even to get ready to go to the club. It would influence me to drink more, to party more, especially music that is talking about drugs and partying and cocaine and stuff like that. Like, now you want to do it because you came into an agreement with something that you heard. The Bible also talks about death and life is in the power of the tongue, and those who love it shall eat its fruit. And we speak things and not even realizing how powerful words are. Now, the thing about this is, some people if I'm sick and if I need some aspirin or something like that, I'm going to tell somebody my head is hurting because my head is hurting. I'm not going to say, no, ain't nothing wrong with me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna speak what's real, but I'm not going to speak against what I'm believing. I even watch how I talk about people that I'm praying for, whether if it be a family member or a friend. If I'm believing God to deliver them, I'm not going to never say nothing like they won't never change, because see, the enemy is looking for access to our lives or for our family members' lives by the words that we say, because he's the accuser of the brethren day and night. And each day when we wake up, I have to get my mind right with the kingdom of heaven, because the enemy is looking for my agreement, but so is Jesus. The Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So if this stuff that I'm saying can work for the kingdom of darkness, it can work the same way when you put in faith. When you find you a verse, or when you find something in the Bible that lines up what you're believing for, and you coming into an agreement with it, now you have given it power. The woman with the issue of blood, she thought to herself, if I may touch him, then I shall be healed. So when she touched the hem of his garment, she agreed. There was some type of an agreement, because he said, daughter, your faith has made you well. It was her agreement with these things. When we agree with faith, we see faith. But when we come in agreement with negativity, when we come into agreement with darkness, we see darkness. And each and every day, that I wake up, I already set my mind on things above. I already set my mind on, things that I'm not going to do. I have to already get my agreement with Jesus as soon as I wake up. Even canceling out dreams, because the enemy is so sneaky. When he see that you don't do stuff in the natural, he'll try to get you to come into an agreement with spirits of death in your dreams. Sometimes you thinking that you're hugging a family member, not realizing that you're hugging a familiar spirit that is looking for your agreement to have access in your life. Sometimes you can think you having a sexual dream with somebody who you think is bad, who's a celebrity, but what the enemy is doing is looking for your agreement so he can put lust into your life. You have to watch out with the dreams that you coming into an agreement with. You see something bad and you just wake up, you don't agree with it. I rebuke my dreams, I cancel them, and I break agreements with them. But I just wanted to do a video about this, because we don't realize the things that we agree with today, it don't just affect tomorrow, it affects next year. Anytime that I've seen something in my life, whether it be good or bad, it didn't start with things that I'm doing now. It started with something that I started to do last year, or something that I started to do 6 months ago. We plant and water things in our life, and whatever you feed is going to grow, and whatever you're going to starve is going to die. You know what I mean? When you feed your flesh is strong, but when you feed your spirit can have authority over your flesh, because that's what you're giving power. That's what you're giving access to in your life. So I just wanted to make a video and let people be mindful about the things that you're doing. Let people be mindful of the things that you're coming into an agreement with, because a lot of things that is happening, people, when it comes to suicide, when it comes to murder, this is something that has happened, not that day that they actually do it, but it's something, it's the thoughts that they have coming into an agreement with over time. And so yeah, whatever we sow, we're gonna reap. And I always tell people that payday is always going to be around the corner. Whatever you're doing in your life, you're going to see the fruits of your labor, whether that be good or whether that be bad. And so I'm going to end this video with that. I didn't want to make a long video. And I just wanted to encourage people, like I always do, no matter what you're dealing with, no matter what you're going through, just know that you can be free, because who the Son has set free is free indeed. I love y'all, and I'm out.